Howdy, folks. See if I can get that adjusted a little better there. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Oh, oh, oh. Shimmy. No, folks. Make sure you park in the designated parking area. Don't want to get a ticket. So when you come to view, make sure you get a parking ticket. What's everyone up to? What is going on? Got this guy too recently. Part of the radio gear. Gonna be doing some stuff with this here soon. Fine tuning everything. I know there's so many lives going on. I thought they would probably be done by now, but I was like, all right, well, I felt motivated, so figured I'd go out for a little bit. Maybe do a half hour or so. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of your videos lately, bro. You got some good videos, brother. Really been enjoying it. I like the honcho. I'm a honcho man too. I see that in some of your videos. I'm like, oh yeah. Gotta bust out the honcho. Yeah, I was watching Bandos and then Lady Locks and a couple other people's stuff too, bouncing around, seeing what was going on, but got a few more parts in for the radio. Finally got the voltmeter in. The inline voltmeter. So I'm going to be hooking that up. Got the power pole kit here for the radio. What's up, Nola? GT. And then on the back here, I wanted to find a cool way to protect the antenna. A lot of guys just slip them in the back here through the molly webbing. So I found a baton holder that actually works really well to keep the tactical folded antenna in, and everything tucks right down in here. And that's a baton holder. That's the regular rubber ducky antenna that would come with the, Gmrs handheld radio. But I really liked how that antenna holder stuck on the back here. So then when you want to go to deploy it, you just unzip that. And then I have the flexible one in here as well. But the connection's down inside here. So you can screw it onto the antenna and just have it coming up out of the top of the bag and zip it up. Things I'm going to do is waterproof this bag as well. I was trying to find, it's the third time I've ordered a pouch. Trying to find one to go off the front of this that fits correctly and it's not too bulky and whatnot to keep the microphone in. Well, as fate has it, I guess the microphone's just going to stay in there because I keep getting the wrong stuff. You know what I mean? It's just, Amazon's a nightmare. So anyways, it fits in there. I was just worried about it scratching the screen. So I might put a little piece of fabric or foam or something in there. But so far, this is my setup with the portable radio, multiple different antennas. I clipped the mobile one off to the side here. The Bioino battery is inside here. I'll be doing all this weekend, finalizing it, getting it looking nice. And the power pole connections, like I said here. So I'm going to splice it so I can have this in line to tell what I'm using for power consumption and everything else. I'm pretty sure this will fit. What's up, Humboldt? Pretty sure this will fit down inside here, the voltmeter alongside the battery. And the little snap-on guys are pretty cool. I just got to find a cool way to go through the bag, you know what I mean, without getting too invasive. A lot of guys use a solder and iron and melt it and stuff like that. So I might do that, but I might even get in there and actually sew it afterwards. I might just do like a slit and then do like a Z pattern sewing on each side and stitching to keep it from ripping. So, but anyways, got the battery down in there, got that, the little splitter dongle. I like I said, this. And I'm contemplating because Abri makes a holder for this. That's the company that makes this antenna, Abri. And they have a similar holder, but the bottom's open. My whole thought was I wanted to protect the bottom of the antenna from dirt, debris, stuff like that. But theirs is open so that you can use it and deploy it. And you run a little cord out of the bag and you can strap that. So that would be really handy on a bigger backpack, something like that. So you could deploy it, get a better range. But this has a sling feature, same thing. You can stick this down inside here, screw it on, extend it fully out, and it'll go right, underneath your arm, up over the back of your arm or in front of your arm, whatever is more comfortable for you. And you can still get quite a bit of range off something like this. I mean, that's a 42-inch antenna. I can't fully extend it right now. It's basically tape measure type material in here. It's basically literally like a small tape measure. And you can bend it at any point. So if I want to bend it here and fold it, I can bend it here. It doesn't have to be where it was before. So that's kind of nifty that, for a tactical antenna application, that you're able to bend it multiple different ways, whatnot, configure it how you want. Well, my biggest thing was protecting the end and trying to make sure the end and the connections and everything, there's a little rubber washer in there to kind of keep some of the dirt and debris out and stuff like that. So that's why I got the baton holder here, and I thought it was a nice little touch. Slides right down in there, nice and neat. You got extra molly webbing straps on here if you wanted to add some other stuff. And even if you're using this as a sling bag, that's not going to really hinder or bother you too much having something like that on there. So I thought that was pretty neat. And it matches. The color's pretty good. Like I said, I've been trying to find a pouch for the front. I've ordered 2 or 3 different ones now, and they just keep screwing that up. So got all kinds of different pouches. And then on the top here, I got different types of fittings for the antennas, stuff like that. So I can hook it to my handheld as well. RX or UF, like to go regular coax. I have an adapter in there for that as well, which is going to be for an antenna I'm making soon. And then the original screw pieces to attach to the original bracket, which is at the bottom of this bag. So there's a little like U-shaped bracket that comes with it. I tuck that on the very bottom of this bag to add a little bit of support and rigidity so that if you set it down hard, drop it, whatever, it's just not going to damage the radio. So I thought that was a nice little touch. I mean, you can tell that's in there. I'll open that up here in a little bit and show you guys. But this is, in case anybody's wanting this baton holder, it's a really well-made one. It's Cat Outdoors. This thing is sick. I'm only using one of the molly straps right now, so it's kind of like offset off to the side there. But I thought that was a pretty cool setup for a little go bag. For a $12 bag, a $19 baton holder. So that was a lot more than the whole bag alone. And then, like I said, I was trying to get one to go off to the front to protect the radio, but so far it's done pretty good. The cord tucks behind it. And this is the Radio Diddy DB20G radio. It's a 20-watt GMRS radio tucked in there. And then I have the Abri folding antenna here, or flexible antenna, and it has the attachments and stuff. I'll show you that here in a second. This is a really good antenna from what I've seen and how it does, rating wise, stuff like that. A lot of guys have had great experience with this. And then also I have the magnetic Nagoya. I think it's the, shoot, I don't want to butcher the model number right now, but I have the Nagoya magnetic one on my car. So I can attach this in my car. I can take it with me with the battery pack. I can use solar to recharge it, which is what I'm trying to figure out. This big blue charger, fold out, 28 watt. I got to get a charge controller and stuff like that with it. So I can use that on the go to top off the battery as well. And then I'm going to get alligator clips in here. And that's the beauty of these Anderson power poles. So let me pull this radio out first of all. So this tucks behind there. That's the microphone attachment for it and everything. And if you want to deploy it, you just pull that out, plug it in, bam. Zip this up. You can have the radio on. I'm thinking about putting some little vents, but you could just always unzip it, you know what I mean? And, if it gets too hot, whatever. This has a big speaker in the bottom of the radio too, so it's pretty loud if you don't want to use this one. But that's how it would be in operation. And you could extend this antenna out, use the regular orange antenna, whichever one you want to use, that'd be sticking out of the top of the bag, or the Abri antenna would be. So it's pretty cool. And I'm thinking about putting a little like mic holder or something like that, or maybe on the back of the baton here. So I don't know. I got to figure out what's going to work best for me with that aspect. But so you open this up, and let me unbuckle this. It's a sweet little Manpack radio so far. I'm really digging it. And then, like I said, this comes out. It has the stock stuff. I put all the connections on here to where the antenna comes right up off the back of it, dead center. So that's where I was showing this before. This screws right on here. Let me move these wires out of the way. They're just kind of tucked in there for packing. And I'm going to cut that, crimp it, put the power poles on it so I can, splice inline the meter so I can keep track of the battery usage, everything else while I'm out at like the park, stuff like that. But this antenna would fit right down inside here, screw on, and then you tuck that down inside the bag. And if you want the longer range, there we go, that's tight now. So that would sit down inside the bag. It's orange, so you're not going to poke your eye out, hopefully. But this thing is bendable. It's made for that reason. It's a $7.99 on Amazon. And believe it or not, for GMRS, this antenna outperforms a lot of other ones. It's really cool. So radio's down in here, power it up. I got to get the connections. So I'm going to melt through the bag here to the front where the battery is, cut these, hook on these and power poles, and then also have a alligator set up so that if I have to in an emergency, everything that I have is about backups, fail safes, you know what I mean? Different versatilities, everything else. So I'm going to have alligator clips so I can clip it to a battery. I could open up the hood of the car, whatever, clip it directly to a battery with a fuse inline. Of course, you want to have an inline fuse. That's important. All these ones and this stock factory one has a fuse, a glass barrel style fuse inside here, but I'm going to put regular like maxi fuse or whatever you want to call them inline to plug into it. But it's going to be really cool. So the beauty of Anderson power poles is they're interchangeable, connectable, whatever, however you want to, do it, configure it. This battery comes with them already on here. That's the charge port. You can get output power off this. There is people that have done that, and I might do that too. Like I said, just for use of versatility, whatever. Get a banana connector for that. Hook all that stuff up. But I want to have it to where no matter where I am, what car I'm in, wherever I'm going, I can take this with me, have multiple antenna options. I have this short one. If I want to be a little more discreet, I could just hit this with a Sharpie or whatever, you know what I mean? Darken it up, put some electrical tape over it and fold it, but that might interfere with the signal a little bit. But, STF kind of scenarios, whatever, just how many times have cell phones gone down in the past year or so? So it'd be a good idea to have a little backup comm system. And the whole thing fits in this little $12.99 bag. I mean, the radio was $100, give or take a little bit. I got it on sale for $89. And this is what the radio looks like. That's the speaker on the bottom. Huge speaker. Sounds great. I wish I could power it up for you guys right now. I will do that next time. But all the configurations right here. Pretty cool. I'm really digging it so far. Having a lot of fun with it. Just taking it around. I've been hooking it up to the antenna. Oh, yeah. And like I said on the bottom here, that's the original bracket that comes with it. So I have that tucked in the bottom to give a little bit of support and rigidity in the bag. In case you drop it, whatever. You know what I mean? You're not going to smash it and damage your connections. And with all these right angle stuff and things like that going on here, it works out pretty well. And it's got pretty good range for a 20-watt radio. I'm telling you, this thing, I've been, like I said, using it in my car and been very, very, very pleased. So, and the other nice thing about it is, you know, you can set it out in like a park, hang it up in a tree, something like that. You could use a little toss bag and hang an antenna. You could take this with some coax and run it up into a tree. I might get a Faraday antenna for it, or some other type one. What's the other one? There's a Faraday, and there was another one I was looking at the other day that looked like it would be really good for GMRS. But I like that. All the connections, the extra alternative stuff will fit right below it. Tuck it right in the bag here. Close this. This would be closed. Your connections would be running through. Zip this up. So for well under $300, and of course you got to get your GMRS license, which is good for 10 years, $35. Covers your whole immediate family. But that's a pretty cool setup. I know I've been digging it. Anyways, show this voltmeter real quick. It's a ANKG power. I think this is 150 watt was what it was rated for. Which will be well above what I need. I got these little boots. I ordered those extra. You have to, they come like full closed, so you have to cut them off to fit the size wire you want. So I pre-staged these on here. I think I'm going to slip a little bit of shrink wrap on there as well before I put the power pole connections on there. But these will be on here, so this will clip in the battery. So like I said, if you're doing long-term, setting out, have it set up out on the bench, whatever, a picnic table at a park or something like that. You know, base camp radio is what I was thinking for this. Portable base camp radio, use the solar to top it off, maybe an extra battery on the side, and keep all that stuff going, and have the handhelds so I can communicate with the family while we're out and about and, you know, have fun at the same time. I think the kiddos really going to enjoy the whole stuff this year when we go out and start talking on the radios and stuff like that. Gonna be pretty neat. I know I'm excited. But I'm a little bummed out that I couldn't find the right bag off the front, but it's just gonna make it more bulky having an extra bag for the microphone. It fits in there. I mean, everything fits, so if it fits, it ships, right? Might as well use it. Pack this back up here. Anybody got any questions, any ideas, or you know what I mean, suggestions, any things I can do to improve it? I saw another guy, and I don't know how he did it, but he put a voltmeter off the front here. Same bag, he did an all black bag, and he had a really small, thin voltmeter, which I guess you could do with Velcro. I could do the same thing with that and run the connections through and everything, and it was pretty neat. And then he put a eyelet on the side of the bag here and ran the cord out for charging the battery. So it came through a nice brass eyelet, keep it from fraying and everything like that. But I thought that was pretty neat. Camel pack bag. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, and give me more room for extra stuff, accessories. Yeah. That's definitely a good idea, Jay. Wow. This little thing's just like... I can't wait to try like a range test on this, though. In my car so far, though, I have the handheld going and this going, and this picks up way more than my handheld does. And it's just a little Baofeng, you know, handheld unit. But, all right, so now we're going to repack it. Show you guys that real quick. which is pretty cool. So this unscrews. Eventually I might get a BNC connector for this, so quick connect, and then relocate this to the upper part of the bag or something like that, or get a little frame in there. But for now, like I said, just messing around with what I get and seeing how it works. The Tech Pepper and a few other guys did videos on these if you guys want to go check out theirs as well. So I tuck that down on the bottom there, close that in. This buttons up like that. All right, and then once you get this like this, you zip it up a little bit. I buckle the side straps. So I only zip just past that and then buckle the side ones. And like I said, you don't have to fully open this. You know, I just did that to show you guys. You can deploy and use this radio without that. And then unbuckle and snap your microphone. All this stuff tucks right down inside the back there. Do a little fold on that. Tuck your microphone up. Oh, antenna caught the camera stand. And then I take the folding antenna here. That goes down inside of this little pouch on the front. I may have to unzip this a little to get that in there. There we go. That tucks right down in there like that. Once you do it a few times, it's a lot easier, like I said, than trying to do it like this for you guys and button everything up. And the whole bag's enclosed. And like I said, I'm going to treat it with some waterproofing, stuff like that. But, I mean, that's my hand. This thing isn't very big. It's deceiving. It looks kind of big when you see it, you know what I mean? Just showing a GMRS mobile radio, like a Manpack setup. And thanks for popping in, folks. Glad you popped in for your first time on one of my lives. You never know what you're going to see here. We do, you know, lockpicking, handcuffs, prepping stuff, other things, survival gear, outdoor adventure items. You never know what you're going to find on Not Too Dead's page. You really don't. So, yeah, I was just showing off this cool tactical setup. Yeah, it's the Radio Diddy DB20G radio. Really good little radio. You can program up to 500 channels in it, and you can get the weather ones, stuff like that. You can listen to ham stations. I mean, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. GMRS, FRS, radios, you know, things like that, MERS channels. You can get all kinds of different stuff on there. So it's pretty neat to have a little setup like that. Ham radio is my next. This is like a step below ham radio. And like I said before, your license is good for your whole family and everything. And $35 for 10 years. That's pretty cool. And you just all use the same call sign set up like that. But yeah, like I said, the whole thing, every direction is, you know what I mean, no bigger than your hand, really. Like, that's a pretty cool little setup. And I overcomplicated it. You don't really need this extra baton holder. You can tuck the antenna right down behind here. It fits, stuff like that. So the bag was $12. And then the solar setup that I want to try to get nailed down for it. This is a folding 28 watt solar charger. and it works really well. So I just got to get the right charge controller for it and stuff like that. So I can deploy this hanging off my backpack, plug it in, set it, out wherever, sitting on a table, doing some stuff as a base camp kind of setup. So super excited to try to figure all this stuff out. It's going to be a little learning process. Oh, yeah. The UR5. Yeah, I'm going to probably grab a few of those as well, G-Key. You can't go wrong with those, especially right now. They got some killer deals on Amazon, like $59 deals marked down to like $24 for 2 radios and everything else you need. You know what I mean? Like, if shit hits the fan, you can still use those to broadcast. Like, even if you don't have a ham radio license, and if it's life or death situation or imminent risk of property or structure damage, things like that, you can still use a ham radio to broadcast for help or for communication. So it's a good thing to have, you know what I mean? And look at what happened in Tennessee and all that stuff with the hurricanes earlier this year. And that was one of the ways they were able to get into touch with the outside world, was using ham radios, GMRS, different types of radio things, CB, whatever, you know what I mean? It's like you had to go outside of the box because all the local cell towers are down. Everything else was down. It's already a rural area, mountain area, not good cell signal to begin with. So it was really handy for those kind of people to have that backup and a way to get outside of that area and communicate with the outside world. And a 12-volt battery, you know what I mean, can get this thing running and powering. And there's cars, there's batteries, you know what I mean? You got inverters, you got so many different options, a jump pack. There's so many different ways you could power a little battery, operated unit like this. So I like versatility, you know what I mean? Everything has to have multiple functions, stuff like that, you know what I mean? I don't do anything for no reason, you know what I mean? There's always a reason or a purpose. Also in here is the connection to where I can hook to the car antenna when I'm on that, or hook right to this one and then, convert it. But this is for my handheld, so I can hook to my handheld to the, or I can hook my handheld to the magnetic mount antenna on my car. So that gives it a lot better range, increases a 8-watt radio a lot more. Or take that magnetic mount antenna and boost it up somewhere, or put it up, park the car up on the top of a freaking mountain. And if all you have is that handheld, well, that's better than nothing. And you got an antenna that's, way up there. Yeah, it's been fun. Really been enjoying it so far. I'm going to go back through the chats real quick here. What is a bag called and where do I get one? I will have to add one. I'll add it in the description of this video afterwards if you look, Todd. And it's $12.99 on Amazon. If you look up little Molly, Webbin ones, whatnot, there's a guy called the Tech Prepper, and I'm trying to think of the other guys. He links all of this stuff in his YouTube video to go to this. And that's where I followed the link and purchased a lot of the similar items and then added some extra stuff. But if you look up GMRS radio Manpacks, you'll definitely find that guy. But I will add that stuff in the description. I will do my best to add all the stuff, the baton holder, the Abri antenna here. That's an Abri antenna as well inside here, the orange one. I may get a signal whip, I think it's called, or signal stick. Yeah, signal stick. And it's a little bit longer. You can tie them in like a knot. You can get them in glow in the dark. Basically the same thing as this. So I definitely might end up going that route eventually. Yeah, no, it's unreal how far stuff's come on Forsaken Blade. Yeah, there's a lot of new technology, things like that. This is all new to me. You know what I mean? I definitely never really messed with stuff other than CB radios before growing up, It's like shake and bake here, what's shaking? You know what I mean? So it's like a big difference, and the CB bands are overwhelmed a lot of days now. So yeah, that's a great guy, HRCC. Yep, good guy to follow. if you're looking into getting into that kind of stuff. And your Anderson power poles, these things are lifesavers when it comes to 12-volt stuff. I'm going to make a station or a board to connect to them all too as well, where you can just snap in and connect everything and link it. So that's going to be pretty neat. And the patch, you can put whatever kind of patch you want on here. You know, you don't have to have your subdued American patch. It comes with it. The bag does for $12.99. Comes with the patch and everything else. So for me, that was just a bonus. I mean, shoot, gonna put that on there. I figured if I ever had to hang it in a tree or stuff like that as well, I wanted the green. So it'd be a little more discreet. I could hook it up, you know what I mean? Leave it like a base radio and stuff like that. I am not in the military. I just, you know, I support a lot of military members. I have a lot of military friends, but this is more or less just a fun little project on the side, sir. And yeah, for medical reasons, I was not allowed to join the Marines, or I wanted to join the Marines. On my high school ring when I graduated, it had the Marine symbol and everything on it, but medical reasons when I was 18 prohibited that, unfortunately. So they don't like when you get melanoma skin cancer when you're 18, I guess. They kind of get mad at that. They don't want to send you over to the desert. I guess it's a risk. I mean, it sounds right, but shot my fucking life dreams down. So, you know, I had to readjust things. And I went to school for diesel tech and automotive and things like that at that point. But yeah. Oh, yeah. As a kid, I was an idiot. Always had my shirt off, doing dumb things, and that kind of stuff catches up to you, you know, and they don't want a liability like that. So it's understandable. Oh, this right here, sir, is my military medal collection. So it's not just a little thing. This is something I have done my whole life to preserve and keep the history alive. It's a lot bigger than what it looks. That's a 2 by 3 foot poster board, fully covered with World War II insignias, medals, things like that. It's not necessarily just a hobby. This is a lifestyle to me. This is, you know what I mean, something I want to do to preserve the history and keep that alive. I've showed this before. I'm not going to pull it down tonight, but yes, I do have an EOD badge. I actually have the EOD. I think, where is it? Where is it? There it is, right there. There's 2 different ones right there. The EOD ones. If you recognize them, there's a couple different versions of them and whatnot. I was showing this earlier on another feller's live on Bando Picks. He actually showed a picture of it, but this is a challenge coin that was given to me from a Master Chief off a nuclear submarine when I was working at his house, and I showed him pictures of that and the medals, and he went inside and handed this to me afterwards, and it is one of the biggest honors and most amazing pieces of my collection, and it's pretty rare. You can't even find these for sale on Amazon or, well, not Amazon, but eBay, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get the focus. Sorry. Come on, focus. But either way, they refueled the nuclear core in here multiple times. And it was last year when he issued this or gave it to me. And it was the year before that they refueled it with a TDC nuclear core. and it's a training facility with a fully functional nuclear submarine hull underground. But that trident with the submarines right there, that's super cool. That's a good question. I don't think it does. I don't have my UV light in. Oh, wait, yes, I do. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, the battery must be dead. I don't think it does, though. But that would be really cool. I will find that out. Actually, if you guys bear with me for a second, I'll go grab a UV light and we'll find out. I love this freaking O-light. It's got the UV, the laser, all the other stuff. But, all right, so let's go to the UV light and let's find out. That's a good question. Oh, shit. Look at that. It actually does. The outer parts. Oh, wow, that's wicked dope. Oh, wow. It's hard to tell. I'm trying to capture it. It actually does. That's wicked sick. It's hard to tell, but the background is like a reddish and then a purple and then a blue. And then the outer is light blue. Oh, wow, look at that. And then the backside. Oh, good call. I don't know who asked that, but good call. That is sick. I mean, should have known it would. That's wicked cool. Wow. Whole new appreciation to it now. The SNG, SAG, SNG coin. I was told if I brought this out, I wouldn't be buying drinks too often. The gentleman that gave it to me, he said it's a pretty rare one. Most challenge coins are round, for it to be irregular shaped and nuclear shaped, stuff like that. That's crazy that this top part, the light blue, looks red under the UV, and then that middle part's purple, and then the bottom part's light blue, and then these dark blues all around look light blue. Wow. Yeah, who knows what these boys put in this thing? You never know. It's a nuclear challenge coin. Could have all kinds of fun stuff. That trident, though, is just sick. Dang camera isn't focusing. It's driving me nuts. I don't know if it would glow without the flashlight. I don't think so. Unless you charged it up, maybe. Let's see. We'll charge it up real good. Yeah, I want to say it's just UV reactive. Bam. Yeah, that thing's awesome. It's like an honor to own something like that. Like I said, when he gave that to me, my hair stood up and I was just like, I got chills and everything. That was pretty freaking cool. He was home on leave. I won't say what nuclear submarine he was on, but he told me Master Chief, and went inside and came out and handed me that. And yeah, I was working on his generator, helping keep, peace of mind while he's away, keep his family safe, stuff like that. Just sharing stuff. And, as soon as I realized he was military, I stood right up and shook his hand and thanked him for everything. It was like, you know what I mean? That's something that I feel a lot of people lost, over the years, and don't don't, pay appreciation to our soldiers, in time of war or whatever. Yeah, it's, everybody's like, oh yeah, super patriotic, this, that. Well, it's not just during time of war or things like that. You know what I mean? You got to always show support for your troops and be there for them. That's why I like to support Mitten Maid, Locksport, a group Stu started. And you know what I mean? Your veterans, your soldiers, your family members, all those people, that's important, man. The sacrifices they made, the things that, the untold sacrifices that we will never know that these soldiers have made for us that's something that's important and something that should never be forgotten. All righty. Well, what are we going to do now? I'm going to stick this solar panel back in the bag here. Or box, I should say. Let's go, he says. Let's go to war. Oh, I think we're on the way there, unfortunately. Whether we want to or not. I feel like the whole world's about on the verge of that one, that's for sure. It's a-coming. It's a-coming. You will get your time, sir. Oh, I think I just seen I got a message from G-Key. That's what's up. There's the... Oh, I'm zoomed in a little too much. I thought it looked a little weird. I got some cool new locks I picked up the other day. This one I thought was really neat. It was all dusty and sitting on the shelf. Been there for a while. This little slider combination lock. I was like, no way. So, gonna see how vulnerable this bad boy is. Probably shimmable. I don't know if I can decode it. I have no idea. Keep thinking maybe I'll get the combination right randomly. It's supposed to be like some kind of speed style. This thing's crazy. Apparently they do. I didn't think they did, but they sell for like fucking $27 or something online. And I was like, holy shit. Yeah. It didn't have a price on it. And then they looked it up and I was buying a bundle of other locks and I was like, well, I want it. Picked up an old Avis. This one's one of the old Taiwan ones, made in Taiwan. And it's locksmith form. What's up, Bando? So it comes 0 bitted. I have another one of these that I picked up from the same place that has some bidding and everything. It's already been made. But I think I'm going to trade or send this off to another gentleman. He's going to have his choice of this one or this one. And it's going to be Sir T-Beard for his beard challenges. And I've been after these for a while. This one's really cool. It's got the plugs. It's got everything in here. The core, all the pins. So this one's great for a challenge lock. And I think Keybeard might want this one over the other one. But we'll see. I'm going to offer him it and see what he can do with it. But we'll make a little trade or something like that. Picksmith was interested in one of them as well, too. I only have 2 of these. They had more, but they must have sold 1 or 2. Or they misplaced them before I came back in there. So I'm trying to find the other ones. These are really cool, though. Original Locksmith Sergeant padlocks. So something you don't see every day, that's for sure. Like I said, I have 1 more of those too over here. I have a second one. Same thing, original locksmith form setup. So Be really neat. And then the other one I had, let's see, it's right here, I think. Is this the one? Yeah, that's the other 8045 I have, where somebody already pinned it up, put some pretty gnarly bidding on there. And that's the same one that's right here. This is one of those locks. Really nice locks. But it's made in Taiwan, so it's kind of cool. Back before everything was in Germany. Made in Taiwan. Excuse me. Jeez. But yeah, I picked up that one. And then a bunch of quick set locks. These ones are pretty cool. Picked up a couple of these. Look at the price on those. But I picked up a couple of these locks on both sides. Deadbolts. I was pricing these and they go for about $70 to $100, I think now. I was like, no shit. And I got a couple of them. Some regular deadbolts too. This one's priced at $20. And some, jeez, all of a sudden I'm having a friggin' coughing fit. Some single deadbolts, but I picked up a whole box of these, some interior knobs that I actually needed for the house. Was that a Yale 1 key? You will have to tell me, sir. I'm not the best with that kind of stuff. I think it was, though, because it has the 100. If I'm not mistaken. I think Picksmith told me that's a Yale one. If that's the one you were talking about, G-Key. But yeah, I lucked out on a bunch of these. Picked up a bunch of old stock, brand new quick sets. So I might toss some of these into my giveaway I got coming up soon too. And then an old Wiser lock. This one's looks like it's, yeah, this one's definitely used. I don't think there's any key in here. Yeah, that one's just a, that one's a flopper. I have some other smart key ones too, new in the box. I don't think this one's a smart key. Round knob. Couldn't pass it up though. I got a whole box of them with those other locks. These, this, and where's the other guy? Somewhere I got one of those lug nut locks. Where the heck did that go? I lost the lug nut lock. Oh, there we go. And it's an old mom and pop store, which is funny because you look at these online. It's priced at $6.97. They sell for like $12 now. So, an old school lug nut lock. It's pretty neat, the old locks they have in there, the old packaging, stuff like that. Like, I almost don't want to open some of these. I know they're just master locks, but it's kind of neat finding the old packaging new inbox like that guy there. Crazy slider lock. Keep me busy. I was actually laying down, freaking half with the world, passed out, freaking dead to the world. It felt like sick as all could be. And the guy called me. He goes, "Hey, I got some locks. You interested?" Man, I felt better real freaking quick. I tell you what, I jumped right up out of bed. I was like, "Yep, let me go." I freaking showered up real quick, and I went down there and grabbed up whatever he had and talked to him for a little bit. And he's got all kinds of old key blanks, like Edsel's, Dotson's. I mean, key blanks, original key blanks that are worth like $15, $20, $10 a piece. Like if anybody needs any old automotive key blanks or anything for their old vintage car, their grandparents, their cousins, uncles, whoever's car, whatever, and they want an original key blank, there's a very good chance this gentleman's got them up there on the wall. And he's the same guy that gave me a key machine. He's got multiple different cutting stations. The hardware store has been in the family for 50, 60 years at least, maybe longer. So there's a lot of old school stuff, things like that, like, you know what I mean? And I want to go buy the whole key wall off them. I just don't know what to even offer them, to be fair, you know what I mean? And if I'd even use this stuff. I used to go to antique auto swap meets and stuff like that, so it'd be a good way to get rid of those kind of keys and stuff like that if I was to do that again. But that's a good idea. Like Newhouse said, yeah, make sure the drain isn't clogged. Going back reading some of you guys' comments. You still in here, Bando? What's up, buddy? I was watching your live before I jumped on. I was telling those guys that. No drain or a vent. Is it propane or whatever? I don't even know what you got going on. I'm just throwing out speculations. Hit it with a hammer. A big hammer. That's what you need. A big hammer. Give that thing a thumping. Let it know who's boss. A BFH. Big effing hammer. Or you can use a tiny hammer. Like this little guy. Shoot. Well, I appreciate everybody. Oh, propane sometimes vent fan does cycle in time. Huh. I'm trying to learn more about furnaces and stuff. I'd love to. As an electrician, it bugs me when I don't know different things and stuff. And, you know, working on generators, we do a lot of propane, natural gas stuff, things like that. So I've been learning more about different aspects of that, you know what I mean? And testing stuff and doing my own gas work and everything. And I ripped apart my furnace last year and messed with the igniter and some other stuff in it. And I think I just made it worse. But I appreciate everybody popping in, hanging out. I just wanted to do a little live for a little bit, hang out. And basically, I was showing the radio here. Wanted to, you know what I mean? Show you guys my little Manpack radio setup. So you could check that out. We'll have a range test and a live demo of this going on, I hope, this weekend. It's been stupid freaking cold and windy. So it's been like, even if I can bundle up for the cold, but you guys wouldn't be able to fucking hear me. I'd be on the top of the mountain and it'd be so damn windy and everything ripping around. And it'll mess with the signal too. So I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? And you guys just be bored. So I'm going to hopefully be able to do that this weekend if the weather and the wind cooperates, but it's been freaking wild. So we'll see what happens. Thank you guys all. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're not, so you don't miss out on any of the future cool videos like this. And have a great one, everyone. Thanks, G Key, for popping in. Always there. Appreciate the support, brother.